he shows us we overcome through the fruit of the Spirit. We overcome through Christ and bearing godly character, right? But I mean, we all understand that. We need to meditate upon that and practice that in our walk. But this is more of a practical application here. We're going to examine David's failure. And where David failed, we're going to try to apply that to our lives, okay? Is everybody in 2 Samuel?
Yep. I am.
Sir.
All right. Agu, you there?
Yeah.
Agu?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. Can you read chapter 11, just the first 2 verses?
It happened in the spring of the year, at the time when the kings go out to battle. And David sent, how's that said there?
Joab? Yeah.
And his servants with him and all Israel. And they destroyed the people of Ammon and besieged Rabbah, but David remained at Jerusalem. Then it happened one evening that David arose from his bed and walked on the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very beautiful to behold.
Okay, so there's 4 keys here, okay? We see David, first of all, the downward spiral that we all get into, that we fall into sin. The number one thing is we take our eyes off God, okay? We begin to take our eyes off God and we put our eyes on other things, right? We get wrapped up in work, we get wrapped up in family, which is good, you know what I mean? But we have to always put God first in everything that we do. We can't take our eyes off God, because everything in this world is trying to pull you away from the Lord, okay? The second thing is not being in the right position or place, okay, that you're supposed to be, like wandering, okay? So we see David should have been at war, but David wasn't at war. David was just chilling, dude. And he wasn't even seeking the Lord. He was walking around on the rooftops beholding his own kingdom. He was basically saying like, man, look what God's done through me, man. I'm anointed. Look at all this, you know? So that's the third key, which is pride, okay? And what happened? David sees Bathsheba bathing on the rooftops. He doesn't crucify that flesh. He feeds into it, right? So the fourth action is giving into the sin or temptation. Now, if we can identify these keys in our life, so the first one being keep your eyes on God. The second one being don't find yourself out of the place where the Lord wants you. You know what I mean? We need to submit to the Lord's will and be in that perfect sweet spot with the Lord. And we know sometimes when we're not making the right choices, right? The third key is pride, and the fourth key is giving into the temptation or sin. So if we can identify these in our own life and our own walk, that when they pop up, we can see them and cut it off, nullify it, die to ourselves, and walk in the Spirit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. And you guys, some of you guys know the story. This thing with David that we're reading right here, this turned into be a nightmare, bro. Like, he had that lady's husband, who was his friend, killed just so he could hook up with her. They had a kid. The kid died in childbirth. Like, the whole thing turned out to be a disaster. I mean, the Lord did bless it eventually, but there was, the wage of sin is death. David, everything that we do, God is not mocked, right? And a man will reap what he sows. So David reaped what he sowed here. He could have crucified his flesh and not suffered any of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Amen. All right. And then, Craig, you still there?
Yeah, technically it's muted, but I'm